Susan Gleaton, root cause dietitian and digestive health specialist. When someone comes to me with any type of digestive distress, whether it's a diagnosed condition like IBS, SIBO, even gastroparesis or GERD, the first thing I'm going to want to do is find out what are the underlying factors that caused this to happen in the first place so that we can take steps to correct them. While we're doing that, which will, by default, decrease inflammation in the gut, that's when I can begin to use gut healing nutrients to begin the process of gut healing. And while I love to use food as medicine, wonderful foods such as homemade bone broth and kombucha and other such things, even sauerkraut, things like that, I find that by using targeted supplements, I can get a lot more traction than with food alone. So both is the best way, and but targeted supplements can be wonderful for healing the gut lining once we get that inflammation down. So one of the first supplements that I use in a gut healing protocol is actually very basic. It's vitamin D3, which is used in every process in the body. I mean, did you know that every single organ in your body has a receptor for vitamin D? That is how important it is. And while we can get vitamin D for free from sunlight, not all of us convert that sunlight well to vitamin D, or maybe metabolically we're just not utilizing it well. Also, many of us are simply not getting enough sunlight or eating any of the foods that are naturally high in vitamin D, such as, egg yolks if the chickens are outside in the sun, and like wild caught or fatty fish, such as trout or tuna or salmon, or cod liver oil. That means that many of us need to take a vitamin D supplement. But the only way you're going to know is to do a blood test to see how much vitamin D you have, and then you'll know, do you need to supplement or not, and if you do need to supplement, how much you need to supplement with. I'm a huge proponent of including vitamin K, and in particular the form K2-7 in a D3 supplement that I recommend to anyone. And by the way, I did say vitamin D3, not D2. They are both absorbed. It's just D3 is absorbed a lot better. The reason for the vitamin K, though, is that it works with D3 to get calcium, which you'll naturally absorb more of from your food when you take a vitamin D supplement, to get that calcium into the cells and into the bones where it belongs, rather than hanging around in the bloodstream where it can cause problems such as cardiac disease or kidney stones, things like that. So it's very important to include K2-7 in a D3 supplement so that you get that benefit of vitamin K as well. Now, our bodies can make vitamin K. In fact, a good, healthy gut does. But if you're coming to me with some type of gut distress, then you may not be making as much vitamin K as you should. You can also get it from foods such as natto, which is, I've actually never tried it, but is not wildly popular here in America. So many of us are not consuming that as a source of vitamin K as well. So again, really the only way you know if you're making enough vitamin K is to do like some type of micronutrient test. But I just go ahead and include it with the D3 supplement because it's usually needed, and you would be really hard pressed to get too much vitamin K. So that's the first gut healing supplement that I will start people on. The next one is pretty basic as well, and it's a good quality multivitamin. So the reason for that, well, I do realize that if you eat a really, really healthy diet, you can get a lot of nutrients from your foods. But I also know that much of the soil has been depleted of nutrients, and so we're just not getting the same amount of nutrients in our foods that was available in those same foods 50 to 70 years ago. So a good quality multivitamin is very, very important, just to get all the basics. So you need like all the underlying building blocks for your body to even make, good, healthy gut lining cells. And so I would rather someone take a very good quality, maybe a little bit more expensive supplement than something cheaper with not very well absorbed forms of nutrients, and also usually a whole lot of fillers. That I just don't want the liver getting all junked up with a supplement like that. Whereas a good quality multivitamin with well absorbed forms and also not a lot of fillers is going to give you a lot more bang for your buck. I have a few favorites, and the one I usually start people on in my gut healing protocol, especially if they are doing a food sensitivity protocol at the same time, is Clinical Nutrients 2 per day, which is put out by Integrative Therapeutics. So you take 2 caps a day, as the name implies, one with breakfast and one with dinner. I always like taking a multivitamin and also a D3 supplement with a meal. For the D3, it's because D3 is fat soluble, so is K2, and so you're going to absorb more if there's some fat in the meal. But then just a multivitamin, it just helps to take it with a meal because of other absorption factors in there. And so I love the Clinical Nutrients. It's got great forms of many of the multivitamin, vitamins and minerals and things like that. And not really any extra things in there. Another one I really like is Thorne Basic Nutrients 2 per day. So very similar in names. Also, well absorbed forms of all the nutrients, and it has a little bit of things for eye health as well. And then another one that I also recommend pretty often would be Designs for Health. What's it called? Complete Multi. Now that one you do have to take 2 caps morning and 2 caps evening, so a few more pills to swallow, but it's got some really good forms of nutrients as well. So those are my favorites. I do have a few more. If you're interested in those, just let me know. I can send you my favorite multivitamin protocols. You can read more about that. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about today, as far as basic gut healing supplements, is a good quality fish oil, or EPA DHA. So some of us do eat enough wild-caught fatty fish to get enough omega-3s, as well as a few omega-6 and omega-9 from our diet. So in order to do that, you would need to be eating wild-caught fatty fish 3 times a week, portions about 3 to 4 ounces each time. And so that is possible, and also it wouldn't hurt to have some freshly ground flaxseed or flaxseed oil in the mix as well. If you're not able to do that, and for many of us that don't live along the coast, it's just a lot cheaper to take a good quality fish oil. One of my favorites is Integrative Therapeutics again, Pure Omega Ultra HP. So the reason I like it is it supplies the EPA, DHA in the triglyceride form, which is important for several reasons. And it's also concentrated so that you only have to take one capsule, albeit a large capsule, instead of two to get the same amount of EPA, DHA as in most other fish oil supplements. Now, if you have trouble swallowing pills, large capsules, then I recommend Dr. Mercola krill oil. And krill oil capsules are generally pretty small, so you're going to have to take more, like 4 to 6, something like that. But it also has astaxanthin in there, which is really good for eye health and a super antioxidant. And I choose Dr. Mercola's brand because of the way that they handle the krill once it's caught, the places that they choose to fish for the krill, and also just their practices fishing were a lot more friendly to the other fish in the sea. And so that one looked really good to me.